Ahoy!
Welcome to our special bonus episode.
Back on the boat twice in a week.
Twice in a week. We've decided to do a special bonus episode of Bottom of the Stream just to... Because we've got to 10 episodes now. 10 episodes are out there in the internet world. And we thought we'd give you all a bit of a treat, and we're leaving the bottom of the stream. We're ascending up the stream.
Yeah, so we're not confining ourselves to unknown stuff here, are we?
No, this is going to be us telling you who we are by the films that we love. And the films that we not necessarily love, but the films that we are into. We've come up with 5 categories. We're going to tell you our favourite films from each of those categories, and we're going to talk about them a little bit and see who we are. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes, and welcome to the special bonus episode of Bottom of the Stream. It's not at the bottom of the stream.
Let's do it.
So, the first category that we've given ourselves is a film that is on Netflix. All these films are on Netflix. Everything we talk about is on Netflix.
Yeah, so that's the rule.
That's the rule. Every film in every category has to be on Netflix.
Yeah.
That's rule number 1.
So there's loads of films we like or don't like.
Yeah. That are not on Netflix, but
they don't count.
Disqualified from this competition.
And we are also disqualifying any film that we have already reviewed on the normal episodes of the podcast.
Any of the 10 films that we've seen on Bottom of the Stream are not worthy.
No.
Because we are not at the bottom of the stream for this particular episode. So the first category that we've decided to do is films that describe who you are as a film fan. So, Nick, would you like to go first?
Yeah, so...
How did you...
Are you going to ask me how I took this question?
Yes.
Was it a deliberately...
That's exactly what I was about to say. How did you take this question?
Was it a deliberately quite an open...
Yeah, I left it quite open because the idea is to tell our listeners and our fans, in inverted commas now, who we are. So I need you to describe who you are by using the name of a film.
The Big Lebowski
Nice.
is on Netflix.
Is it really? I didn't even know that was on Netflix.
And I love that film.
Yeah, I know you do.
And it's just so quotable. It reminds me of just hanging around with my friends.
Yeah.
Watching it.
We used to watch
at
it quite
uni.
often, I think.
And yeah, guys, friends at uni.
Yeah.
Other friends out and about.
How many times do you think you've seen it?
A lot.
Really? I think I've watched it 2 or 3 times with you. So
I don't know. I don't know.
Wouldn't even like
I
to
want to
guess.
say 25,
Wow.
50, 25. Over 25, I would say. A lot. But not even just like specifically I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
If it's on, it stays on.
Yeah.
It's always something that goes on in the background whilst I'm, I don't know, doing a bit of work,
Yeah, it's just one of those things that you can put on and you know it off by heart now.
Because you kind of tune into, it's this bit's coming up.
Yeah.
I can literally talk along with it.
I think that's a great choice for you. I think that film would be how I'd describe you as well. So that's an interesting one.
I'm not saying in any way am I like
You're not the dude.
or Donnie or anyone in there.
Did you like the reference in the recent Avengers film?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought of you when he did that.
In fact, I went to see the Endgame with my wife.
Yeah.
And Thor walked on. He's got his cardigan on. He's got his sunglasses on. I turned to my wife and said, "He looks like the dude." Just before Tony Stark went,
All right, Lebowski.
All right, Lebowski. So yeah,
You spoke in the cinema. That's not on, man.
I know, but it was Lebowski related. So
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm happy with you saying that. I think that does describe you quite well as a film fan, who you are. That's the sort of film you like and what you're into.
how about yourself, Adam?
I, for this one, struggled. But ultimately, as soon as I saw this film was on Netflix, it had to be Carrie.
Oh, okay.
Because you know how much I am a Stephen King fanatic. In the very next room to where we're sitting now is every single Stephen King book ever written in order. And Carrie just...
He's only got one copy of each. He's not got like all the books.
It's not all the books he's ever written, but Carrie means a lot to me because I remember watching Carrie when I was very young. So Carrie came out obviously before I was born, and it scared the living shit out of me. But watching Carrie then made me read Carrie, and that's where it started. Plus, it's a really cheesy horror movie, which is all about who I am.
Sissy Spacek is amazing in that film.
Incredible in it.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I think most people are in it. I mean, they're all playing a lot older than they're all a lot older than the characters they're playing.
That's films, isn't it?
Especially films from that period in America. But yeah, it had to be. As soon as I saw that Carrie was on Netflix, I watched it. And then that went on straight on this list.
How did you go about this? Did you have an idea if that's there, that's it, or did you just go in open and
I think
what? How did you do it? Did you just scroll through?
Yeah, I was scrolling through. I went in with the idea that it probably had to be a Stephen King film,
Right.
because Stephen King is everybody.
Yeah, but what if only the crap one had been on there? What
Exactly.
if you
So
only had?
I went looking for.
Is it Dreamcatcher? Is that a rubbish one?
Yeah, Dreamcatcher. You've
Is
got
that
to
one
give
with
it a
like
bit of-
butt aliens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dreamcatcher was written by Stephen King just after he got run over by a camper van
Right.
in hospital while he was in agony, and you can tell because it's fucking mental, and it's completely different from anything else he's ever written. But we're not going to not turn this into a Stephen King.
No. So what's better, Carrie the book or Carrie the film? Are they comparable? I don't know if I've read the book actually. I can't remember.
The book of Carrie is really weird because it's told through. It's not like a novel. It's written from newspaper cutouts and people's accounts of what
I
happened.
don't think I've read it.
And the film is probably better. It was his first novel. So, and he said himself it's not brilliant, but the film is brilliant. The remake is also on Netflix and isn't brilliant, so don't watch that. Yeah, the film that described who I am as a film fan is Carrie.
Excellent.
Definitely.
Good choice.
The next category,
Before you go on to the next category,
Oh, okay.
Can I what happens if we choose the same thing?
that proves how good friends we are.
Does it? Okay.
I've got a few.
Because I just
in
think
each.
if that's going to happen, it might happen with this next category you're about to.
Okay,
So-
interesting. Well, I've got a few in each ones that are going
too,
in as
me
honourable. The only one I haven't is that one we've just done. It had to
I
be a Carrie
okay, so
one.
I did have an honourable mention in there.
Okay.
I was quite surprised this was on Netflix. So what I do find interesting about Netflix is that because it generates things it thinks you might be interested in.
Yeah,
So when we're on the bottom of the stream profile,
yeah. There's all sorts of random shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then when I'm on my profile, because I've got like kids stuff on there
Yeah.
for my daughters and stuff. So some of this stuff that was coming up as I was delving through, I was like, oh, I didn't know that was on.
Yeah, I had exactly the
So
same.
the other one that I had as an honourable mention for something that describes me as a film fan was, there's no surprises. Loads of people are going to answer with this sort of thing, but Back to the Future. I didn't know all of them were on there.
Yeah.
Again, it just reminds me of.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant. It's just
Yeah,
brilliant.
It is brilliant.
Again, one of the films I've probably seen more
More than
times than anything else.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But yeah, it's
I
not quite the
I
Big
didn't have
Lebowski
any.
for
I
me.
didn't have any honourable mentions in that category because as soon
Okay.
as I saw Carrie was on there, that it said it all for me. So the next category that we've done is a film that you loved from before you were 10 years old. Now, we are both 38 years old. We were both born within 2 days of each other in 1981. So we're looking for films between 1981 and 1991, which I imagine means we're going to be talking about 80s films for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, sure are.
Excellent. What film did you pick as a film that you love from before you were 10 years old?
The Goonies.
That's exactly the same film that I picked.
Oh, we should have said it at the same time.
The fact that The Goonies is on Netflix is brilliant because The Goonies is the quintessential 80s kids film and there is nothing better on there.
It's brilliant. Again, it just takes you back.
Yeah,
The soundtrack's amazing.
everything's amazing about
The
it.
music's great. It's really evocative for me.
Yeah. If you haven't seen The Goonies, what are you doing with your life? Go out there and watch The Goonies. Turn this podcast off now and go and watch The Goonies.
It's really weird because I do occasionally run into people with similar age to myself, either people I already know, friends, or
Yeah.
just because films come up in conversation while you're making small talk or whatever. And occasionally it does come up and someone will say, oh, I have never seen The Goonies.
No, it's
I know-
mental.
It was always on TV that much.
Yeah.
And I think pretty much wore the VHS out that I had. I just can't get my head around that it's something like that is not popped into your consciousness at some
It's
point in
how-
the last
How
30
have you
years.
grown
or-
up? Even if you're young, how have you grown up without watching The Goonies?
It's always been on TV, like literally every few months
yeah.
for the last 30 years.
Quite rightly.
On a Sunday tea time.
Yeah.
It's bumped around which channel it would be shown on, but it's
always on.
it's always pops up every few months.
So I've got on my wall in front of us right now, there's a framed copy of the key that Mikey uses to get into the caves, and that's obviously a replica, but it's one of my prized possessions, and it's framed on this wall. I absolutely love that film.
Again, when I was kids, we used to muck around pretending we were the Goonies.
Yeah, have you seen that episode of The Goldbergs where he
Yeah.
pretends to be in the Goonies? That was me as a kid. I loved everything about the Goonies. I even went to school at one point with a comb in my top pocket.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it's because I wanted to be that guy, and
You want it to be Mouth?
I wanted to be Mouth. It had to. I knew you'd pick the Goonies, and I think you knew I'd pick the Goonies as well. And
That's what I said. I think that was the category that it was going to happen. We should have said it at the same time. Man. So yeah. Though actually, I didn't think there wasn't loads of 80s films on there. I tried to do the secret search thing you can do on Netflix. So I tried to find films from the 1980s, and there was not as many in there as films from the 90s.
That's true. There's not
loads.
I did find a few. I've got a few honourable mentions on this list.
Okay, go for it.
So you've already mentioned Back to the Future trilogies on there. RoboCop's on there.
Okay.
Which is a great film. The Witches is on there.
That's a good film.
Which is a really good film.
Yeah, again, going back to your sort of Stephen King from the first category, I know that you're a very big fan of Roald Dahl.
Yeah, Roald Dahl. Yeah, he's when your daughter was born, I bought all the Roald Dahl books and gave them to her, which I'm hoping she reads all the time. K9's on there.
I did spot K9
because K9 is again a really great film.
I don't know if it's a good. I think if I watched it again, I know. I don't know if I'd think that was a good film.
I'm sure it's terrible. But
in my mind, I remember it being a good film.
Yeah, in the 80s, it was a great film. And finally, Short Circuit is on there.
Oh, see, I didn't spot that. I found that Short Circuit 2 came up when I was scrolling.
Maybe I've got it wrong.
No, you might be correct, but because I did remember thinking, there's
why would Short Circuit 2 be on there, but Short Circuit isn't?
And the second one's nowhere near as good.
No, the second one is awful.
Because it's not got Steve Guttenberg in, and he amplifies the goodness of any movie by at least a factor of 10.
You're right, I'm wrong. Short Circuit is not on there. Short Circuit 2 is, but Short Circuit isn't for some random reason.
Yeah, Guttenberg wasn't in the second one. He jumped ship. Right?
Yeah. So there's definitely good 80s films on Netflix. But go out and watch The Goonies, please. Even if you've seen it, just go and watch it again. It's a fucking brilliant film. So
it's and you still see those everyone in that, most people in that pop up now and again still. Well, Thanos himself.
Yeah,
He's Brant from the Goonies.
Absolutely. Yeah, they all pop up occasionally.
Yeah, great movie.
Great. Did you have any honourable mentions?
I didn't with that one because I was just like I knew what it was going to be straight away.
Yeah, I agree. So should we move on to the next category?
Yeah.
The next category is a bit more negative. We've decided to go for a film that you wouldn't recommend to anyone. Now, obviously, Sierra Burgess as a loser should be cut to this list, but we've disqualified it as we've talked about it before. But don't watch that film. I'm saying it again.
We spent 40 minutes talking about
we've already
that one.
Talked about that. I'm not going to talk about it again.
Go and listen to episode 6 if you...
There are films on there. I found this really difficult because I'm quite a positive person when it comes to films. I pretty much enjoy most things. And I found this really difficult. And then a film popped up and I thought, I fucking hate that film. So I'm going to put it out there.
Yeah.
The World's End.
That is terrible.
It's an awful film.
So just remind people if they're not familiar.
So The World's End is the third film in the Cornetto. I think they call it the Cornetto trilogy behind Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Which I also don't like Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz is good.
Whatever.
It is. Hot Fuzz is good.
I have an issue with Hot Fuzz, but I'm not getting into that. But The World's End, me and you went to the cinema to watch it.
Yeah, with our friend Wayne.
Yeah, with Wayne. And all three of us hated it.
I can remember being terribly disappointed because I love Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
I really like Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
And this was garbage.
It was garbage. I've watched it again recently.
Yeah.
So I watched it. Yeah. It's terrible.
They tried to swap.
I'm going to catch a lot of stick for this, I think. I think we both are because it's one of those films where people think it's really good because it's related to Shaun of the Dead. But you watch this as a standalone film, it isn't a good film.
No, they tried to switch sort of the buddy relationship, didn't they, between Nick Frost and Simon Pegg.
Yeah, Nick Frost became the straight man and Simon Pegg became the comedy actor.
Yeah, as sort of...
It crashed and burned.
It was not a good film.
It isn't a good film, and I really...
It's not funny. And that I loved Spaced, where they all came from.
Yeah.
I even Paul, which isn't from Edgar Wright, their directing mentor, but
Paul's a good film.
They're good films, and even something like that. Some of Simon Pegg stuff is in his own, like Run Fat Boy Run. That's all right.
Yeah.
World's End is bad.
It's the shits.
Yeah.
It's the drizzling shits.
That's a good choice.
I went with that because as soon as I seen it was on there, I was like, I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
It's so overrated, and it's only overrated because of the two films that it's related to. So, yeah, film that I would not recommend you to go and watch is The World's End.
So I found this really easy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a lot more negative person than me.
No, I don't think I am. I've got 4 films on here.
Wow.
And I'm just going to, as I talk, I'm going to decide which is going to be my official choice.
Okay, go for it.
A couple of them are kids' films.
Right.
Because, I say, I've got 2 young daughters, so
Yeah.
sometimes stuff just goes on. It's for the kids.
Just to keep them entertained.
And there's some that are quite good. There is some real bad ones. So I'm not going to choose these. So these will be a couple of honourable mentions, I think. So really randomly, my oldest daughter, she's 5, and I can't choose this one because it's just gone off Netflix.
Oh, really?
So, but I think it's probably the thing that's been watched the most on our Netflix account.
Oh, she's really disappointed that it's gone off?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So she's asked us to try and find the DVDs.
Okay.
So it's Three Ninjas Kick Back.
Okay.
It's not even the first one, it's the second one. So it's from like the mid-90s.
Right.
She loves ninjas, martial arts.
Yeah, she does, that is true. She beat me up last time I saw her.
This is an awful film.
Really?
It's really cheesy.
I can't say I've seen it.
Really
she has never made me watch it.
It's about the three brothers. They go over to Japan and foil a evil criminal ring, and they play baseball in between. And it's not funny. It's really bad.
Okay.
It's really bad. And partly I hate it because it's been on in my house about 300 times.
Wow. And they've took it off. Gutted. I've just looked up on Amazon as you were talking. You can buy the trilogy box set on DVD.
Right.
But it will cost you $28.99.
Wow.
But you cannot buy the DVD on its own.
Oh, so they're not even in.
If you're going to treat her, you're going to have to pay $28.99.
I'm pretty sure Hulk Hogan's in the third one.
Is he really?
I think so.
Interesting.
I think so. I think he's like the villain.
It's £2.49 on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
But you can only watch it once.
We don't cover that, so.
That's true. We don't. That doesn't even exist. Spit on Amazon Prime.
And the other one that I've got from a sort of kids movie is a film called 9 Lives, which is it's kind of a talking cat film.
Oh.
And it's got quite a few big names in it.
As in like live action talking cats?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Look Who's Talking, but with cats.
Kind of. So Kevin Spacey's in it.
Oh.
Yeah, I know we're on dodgy ground already.
Wow.
And it's basically it's a bit like, it's a combination of Look Who's Talking and Big. So he's this.
That's incredible.
It's terrible. He's like this big shot executive.
Yeah.
He befalls an accident and his body ends up in hospital and his consciousness ends up in this cat.
Oh, right. You're really selling this to me. I really want to see it. If it hadn't got Kevin Spacey in it, anyway.
All the terrible things that Kevin Spacey's done, and this is one of them.
I don't know if that compares, but okay. It's really that bad.
It's not good.
Okay.
It's garbage.
Do the kids like it?
It's been on a couple of times, I think. I mean, they're like cats, so
True.
They're not aware of Kevin Spacey generally, I don't think. But anyway, so there are a couple of honourable mentions. My other honourable mention is a film you made me watch.
Okay.
I found it intensely disturbing and uncomfortable, and I didn't like it one bit, and that was Clown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Clown's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Clown is weird.
So that is my other honourable mention. So Clown is where...
I didn't realise you hated that as much. It is a weird film, but...
I just like the whole idea of it. It's not nice.
No, it's not.
So there's a guy... He books... he tries to book a clown for his son's birthday party, doesn't he?
Yes, and
he doesn't turn up, or he cancels.
Yeah.
So he goes to... He's looking for he decides, I'm going to be the clown.
Yeah.
And he goes to this weird, creepy costume shop.
Yeah.
Gets this clown suit.
Yeah.
Puts it on.
Yeah.
Can't take it off.
Never take it off again.
And he slowly turns into like this horrible...
Deteriorates into this
murderous
clown.
Oh, it just creep me out.
It is creepy. It is proper weird. That's
Dark,
interesting. I wouldn't say I hated it, but...
No, I didn't say I hated it.
I made you watch it either. I think we watched it for the first time together, so I don't think you
This category is not hate it, so I would not recommend it.
Yeah, true. Okay.
I wouldn't recommend it.
No,
I
wouldn't watch it again, I must admit.
But anyway, they're honourable mentions.
They're just your honourable mentions. What is your top one of those then?
I would not recommend this film to anyone.
Okay.
Mamma Mia.
Oh, I didn't even know that was on there. I've never seen Mamma Mia. I never want to see Mamma Mia. I hate everything about it.
I hate ABBA so much.
Me too.
Absolute
passion.
Stand those songs.
How many times have you seen it?
I once watched this film twice in one day.
What? Wow. You said that like you were at some sort of Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. I am Nick and I am an alcoholic. I've watched Mamma Mia twice in one day. Why?
I think it was the Christmas back in 2008 or whenever Mamma Mia came out, and we were on the in-laws for Boxing Day.
Yeah.
And my father-in-law had Mamma Mia as a present.
Because he's well into ABBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that fact coming out.
And I think we watched it after dinner and played a couple of games, and then
And watched it again.
I think I'd gone out of the room or something and came back in and Mamma Mia's on again.
Oh,
And
that's
they
not
were
a good
just looking
Christmas.
at me like it's the funniest thing that's ever happened.
No, I'd have gone home. I'd have spent Christmas on my own.
I think I thought about a divorce.
Are you going to catch some stick from your wife for this? Is she a big Mamma Mia
I'm not
fan?
sure she'll listen, so...
What do you mean? She must listen.
She
doesn't listen.
No,
doesn't
she's
she?
fairly ambivalent about the
Okay,
films.
that's fine.
One way
She's
or
not one of
another.
those people that absolutely loves Mamma Mia.
No.
Good. She's gone up in my estimation. Not that
That's
she was
it.
down in them anyway.
Mamma Mia. Horrible.
Okay. Yeah, I agreed. That is a terrible film. So the next category is a film that you would recommend to your co-host. Now, so
You
a
go.
film
I
I've
think
got to
there's a
recommend-
couple of ways you could have taken this, so
I'd-
go on.
So basically, it's a film. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't think you will have seen it, and it's another Stephen King film.
Okay.
So I'm putting it out there. There's a film of Gerald's Game
Right.
on Netflix. Have you read Gerald's Game?
I have read it,
Have you
and I
seen the
have
film?
not seen it, but I have heard it is very, very good.
So Gerald's Game I read on holiday one year, and it blew my mind because I'd not heard of it. So as I've said earlier, I'm a massive Stephen King fan, and it slipped my consciousness. I had no record of this book even existing. And so I read it in a couple of days, and it instantly went as probably my favourite Stephen King book, aside from the Dark Tower films, their books. And then I think it was last year or the year before, Netflix released this Gerald's Game film, and it's
The
brilliant.
Netflix original.
It is a Netflix original, and it's brilliant.
What's the premise of Gerald's Game? Just
So
for people who
Gerald's Game
aren't sure.
is about a middle-aged married couple who go on a vacation to a lodge in the middle of nowhere to try and rekindle their marriage. And they get down and dirty on the bed. He chains her to the bed with some handcuffs, and then he has a heart attack and dies. So she is in the middle of nowhere, chained to a bed with a dead body next to her.
What's great? It's a great idea.
It's a
for
great
story.
idea for a book.
Yeah.
And the book is, if you've not read the book, it is fucking good. And the film, it really works. So she starts to go, obviously, as you would, she goes a bit crazy. She starts imagining noises she can hear outside and wolves and all sorts of stuff. And she starts to slowly lose her mind, and it's about her descent into craziness as she gets tied on this bed. And it's quite dark. The film isn't as dark as the book is, but I definitely recommend it to you. If you've not seen it, which you haven't, go out there and watch it, because honestly, it's really good.
Yeah, I will get to that.
Stephen
at some
King
point.
adaptation, because Stephen King's probably renowned for really good books and not the best adaptations of his books.
I think it's fair to say there's a mixed batch of...
Yeah, some of the best films ever
Films
made are
based
Stephen
on
King
his.
films, and some of the worst films ever made are Stephen King films. You think of things like The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile.
Stand By Me.
Stand By Me are great films. I even looked to see if Stand By Me was on Netflix, and it isn't. But then you've got, at the other end of the scale, some really dreamcatcher, like you say, is some really, really shocking films. And we haven't even mentioned The Shining. The Shining's probably the greatest film. Yeah, so Gerald's Game sits right in the middle. It's a good film. It's a good adaptation of the book. It's probably not as dark as the book, as I say, but I would recommend that you go and watch it.
Excellent. So, you've been very nice to me there.
You're going to be horrible to me. You're not going to recommend I watch Mamma Mia, right?
No.
Good.
No, but in hindsight, can I change my choice?
No.
It took me. This was my most difficult one because I thought you've probably seen most of what I would recommend. I thought I would recommend something just because I'd be really interested. / I'd find it hilarious to recommend something that you'd probably hate.
Okay.
So I think you should watch. Our film I would recommend to you would be R.I.P.D. Rest in Peace Department.
What is R.I.P.D.? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
So it was an absolute box office bomb.
Right, okay.
And-
Good, that's what I like.
It stars Jeff Bridges,
Okay.
who again seems to be a recurring theme here, and Ryan Reynolds. They are two dead police officers, and this is all set in the world of... So everyone's dead,
Yeah.
and they have to hunt down dead criminals.
Well, this sounds incredible.
Doesn't it? I think it absolutely bombed, and it was critically absolutely panned.
Yeah.
I watched it at home and I thought it was actually pretty fun.
I'm definitely going to check that out. That sounds alright, my street.
So it's a bit... Cause it's kind of like part Men in Black
Yeah.
and part Wild Wild West and just Will Smithy type. Actually, I wonder if Will Smith might have been attached to this at some point. It sounds like that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
it does sound like something.
Yeah, buddy cop / Men in Black type thing. The makeup was good, special effects good. It is crap.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a good film, but I don't understand why it's like
it's the sort of
this
thing
huge box office bomb. And
so you probably know about my film taste more than anybody else. Would you think I'm going to enjoy it?
I'm not sure. That's why I'd like you to watch it, because
Well, I'll watch it.
I thought it was quite fun, but I think you might. I don't know if you have the patience.
Okay. I do like in your face B movies and disaster movies, so okay, I'll go for that. I reckon what we should do, we should both go and watch those films, and then we'll briefly discuss them in a future podcast.
Report back at some point
to see
later
if we
on.
did enjoy them or not.
I had another one on there.
Okay.
I think you've probably seen it, but it might be so far back in your memory. It might pique your interest.
Go for it.
And I can't actually remember if it's any good, but it's got a really good gimmick.
Okay.
And it's a 90s film called Nick of Time with Johnny Depp.
I don't think I have seen it.
So it's played out in real time.
Yeah.
So it's
like 24.
Yeah,
Okay.
but kind of 24, but way before 24.
Yeah.
So he's a average Joe in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he's got to I think this is like a hostage situation. I've not seen it for years and years, and he's got an hour.
Yeah.
So the first half hour is setting up this situation, then he's got an hour to help find this girl, and it plays out in real time. And it's completely ridiculous, but it's quite an interesting little gimmick. It's like mid-90s.
I'll check that out as well.
So I nearly picked that one, but I was like, I'm pretty sure you must have come across that at some point.
No. Which is unusual, because I really like Johnny Depp.
I think it was in his fallow period,
Yeah,
so
he
sort of
wasn't really doing anything.
after Edward Scissorhands and before his megastar of Pirates of the Caribbean and all that stuff. So
I got into an argument about Johnny Depp today. Somebody told me at work that they thought he was awful and that he's never made a good film. Since Edward Scissorhands, he's never made a good film.
oh, well, that's not true.
It's not true.
He has his faults.
He does, yeah.
He's not
human and as an
Spacey
actor,
level,
but-
but he's, you could say he has relied on certain roles and...
Yeah, but he's a character actor and he's
Yeah.
really good at what he does. I mean, he has made some stinkers, but he's also made some excellent films. And to say he's not made anything good since Edward Scissorhands is balmy.
Yes, that's false.
Yeah, it's false. That person's an idiot. If you're listening, you know who you are. You're an idiot. Which brings us on to our final category, which is your favourite film that is available on Netflix. So this is the number one film. This is your go-to film for Netflix.
Okay, you go first.
Me go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your turn.
Again, this was another one where I was looking through thinking, I have in my head a constantly moving list of top 10 films. And I went through to see if any of those films are on there. And the third film on the list is on Netflix.
Okay.
So my third favourite film of all time
Yeah.
is on Netflix. And it is Jurassic Park.
Great choice.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Because Jurassic Park is the film that made me a film fan. Came out when I was 12, I think. It was 93. And I remember going to the cinema to seeing it. And literally it was like open mouth all the way through. It's a crazy good film. And the story's excellent. The effects still hold up today. Which for a film that's, old.
1993, I think?
93, yeah. So we're talking 26
years.
years.
Jurassic Park's 26 years.
But
Which it has to be, really. We're on like the 5th or 6th one, aren't we?
yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I absolutely love Jurassic Park, and the fact that it's on Netflix. It hasn't been on Netflix for long. It's only just appeared. I think the first 3 are all on there. I love all 3 of them. But
I remember going
the
to
third
see...
one was-
I saw Jurassic Park more than once at the cinema.
Yeah, I did as well.
And I think I remember going with my dad, and then I think a week or 2 later we went back with my mum and my sister as well, because it's amazing.
It changed the world. It changed cinema.
That scene when they pull over in the Jeep and the first
Yeah.
glimpse you get of the Brachiosaurus, amazing.
Yeah, it's still amazing to this day. It still holds up as an incredible scene, and nothing had been done like that ever. Going back to 93, and I remember as a kid thinking, this is a life-changing moment, because the Jurassic Park's the reason I love films as much as I do, and so for it to be on Netflix, so it had to be. I have got some honourable mentions, but I want to do them after you've done yours, because
Okay.
I think maybe you might have one of them.
Okay. That'll be interesting. I've only got a couple of honourable mentions.
Okay.
I probably could have had a few more, but I crossed one out because I used it in another category.
Okay.
'Cause it's-
Because it's shit.
Yeah. I've just written Mamma Mia under every single category. I wasn't sure. I found something. I was like, it's going to be that.
Yeah.
And then I found something else. I thought, no, it's going to be that. And then I went back to the first one, and I decided it wasn't going to be the first one because it was too similar to my Big Lebowski, and it reminds me of A Good Time, so I'll talk about it in a minute. But the one I went for, again, probably one of the films that I've watched more than any other film, multiple times, and I just think there's something new in it every time, and the acting is amazing, the story is fantastic. It's Goodfellas.
Okay. I was watching you then and seeing if I could guess what you were going to say, and I couldn't.
It's
a great choice.
Superb.
Yeah, it's a
Scorsese at his best. Well, that famous panning tracking shot through the restaurant. De Niro's amazing.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci.
I haven't seen
Ray
Goodfellas
Liotta.
in years. I've seen it a few times, but I haven't seen it.
Again,
in a very
soundtrack's
long time.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Great film.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I'd
fantastic.
agree. That's It's been a long time since I've seen it, but
Absolute all-timer for me.
yeah.
So, for honourable mentions, interestingly, given that you've absolutely buried one of the films,
It's on my list as well.
I've got Shaun of the Dead.
I've got Shaun of the Dead as well, and considering The World's End is my least favourite film on Netflix, Shaun of the Dead is, again, it changed everything. It reinvented British cinema, and it's a fucking brilliant film.
It's got such a high rewatchability value.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead's one of those films that if it's on, you watch it, and it never gets turned off.
And I think, for me, I know we mentioned it previously, because I was a big fan of the sitcom Spaced,
Yeah,
which was a launching point for Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and Edgar Wright.
yeah, Jessica
Which-
Stevenson.
Yeah, which was just, a half an hour thing on Channel 4 on a Friday night.
Spaced.
And then suddenly, I remember coming out of Shaun of the Dead and thinking, how have they made that?
Yeah,
That's their first film.
yeah,
It's perfect.
it is perfect.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
It's got some jumps in it. The makeup's great. The sight gags are great. The shot where you look, where they shoot the girl in the garden,
yeah,
and the camera looks through the hole in the stomach,
Yeah.
and Sean's just on the other side. Amazing.
yeah. It is. Everything about Shaun of the Dead is amazing. There's no weak spot in it. There's everything about it is incredibly well written. It is funny in every scene.
When they're beating the zombies up to the
Yeah,
Don't Stop Me Now.
That reinvented that song. That became
It did,
became Queen's number one. Everybody knows Queen because of Don't Stop Me Now. But before that, nobody knew what Don't Stop Me Now was. Yeah, Shaun of the Dead is a great. It was a toss up for me between Jurassic Park and Shaun of the Dead. But Shaun of the Dead means more to me as an adult. But Jurassic Park as a kid was life changing. But Shaun of the Dead is an incredible film. If you've not seen Shaun of the Dead, definitely go watch Shaun of the Dead. Spaced isn't on Netflix, unfortunately, which is surprising.
Maybe one day.
It should be. Things like Peep Show are and the IT Crowd are.
Cool. I have one other honourable mention. Have you got?
I've got one more as well.
Do you want me to go? Or...
Yeah, I'll go with one if you want. I've gone with Jumanji
Okay.
because
I did spot that in there, and I did think you might have that somewhere.
Jumanji is, again, another
So
film from
this is the 90s.
the original, the original with Robin Williams. I needed a Robin Williams film because I love Robin Williams. And Jumanji is an incredible piece of cinema because for the same reason that Jurassic Park is, the effects hold up today, and it changed everything at the time because nothing like that had been done before. And Jumanji's another perfect film. There isn't a weak spot in Jumanji. You still learn stuff about it today that I never knew. It blows my mind still.
I like Jumanji. It's good. I'm not as high on it as you are, but it is a good film. I think Robin Williams is best when he is harnessed somewhat,
Yeah,
and then he can explode out with that sort of bundle of energy,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that happens really. That is used really well in Jumanji.
Yeah.
Those films where he's just over the top all the way through for 2 hours can be a bit grating.
yeah,
But yeah, he's a perfect guy for that movie. And without trying to sound like a really grumpy old man, that does feel like it's one of those films that they just don't make them like that anymore.
they don't.
They had a real good go with the. Am I saying? I'm not saying remake. Sequel that came out a couple of years ago.
Reimagining?
Yeah,
Well, it is a sequel, no, because they go to the jungle and find his stuff.
yeah,
To find, what's his name, Alan.
yeah. So that was a good homage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, good choice. Good choice. My other honourable mention is something a bit more recent. So it's 3 or 4 years old now, and I don't think it will be that well known to the general public, film watching people.
Joe Average.
But I think the sort of people who probably listen to this podcast are maybe aware of it, and that's a film called Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
Which is a Korean film starring Captain America. So Chris Evans
That's a very recent addition to Netflix.
Is it?
Yeah, it was.
I didn't know how long it's been on there, but I did find it during this
It
search.
was never released in the UK,
Really?
and this is its first release in the UK.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There you go.
Good
fact.
Good fact. So Snowpiercer is basically we're in a dystopian world, and a portion of the surviving population of the planet is on this huge train, which constantly just crisscrosses the globe.
Yeah,
it can't stop. You can't go outside because there's wolves and radiation.
All sorts of shit going on outside.
Yeah, you can't live outside. And this class system has developed in the train, so you've got the poor plebs at the back. They're getting fed like gloop and
Good word.
The classes increase as you go all the way to the front, and then there's this mythical driver / creator at the front, and it's about how these these lower classes rise up and start fighting their way through the train. It's got some badass fight scenes in it. It's gory. It's fun. It's a great idea. Chris Evans is amazing in it. Tilda Swinton's in it. It's a great film. Check it out. It's a bit different, so that was my other honourable mention.
Excellent. I think that brings us to an end of. I think we've done well there. I think we've described who we are as film fans. You guys now know a bit more about who we are.
Yeah, that was a fun to talk through some of them, actually.
So we've gone to the top of the stream from the bottom of the stream. We'll be back to the bottom of the stream at some point.
We've come up to take some air and
we're going back down there.
We're going to dive back down.
So bottom of the stream was designed to try and find films that people are not finding on Netflix. Now, we took a bit of criticism in the week that there was films on our list that this guy had heard of, and that's always going to happen. There's
people have heard of stuff.
Of course they have. And the idea isn't to find stuff that nobody's heard of. The idea is stuff to try and find hidden gems that we recommend that you go and watch, or we recommend that you don't go and watch. And that's what Bottom of the Stream is. And the idea was that you watch the film along with us, you listen to our opinion, and then you feedback, and we'll get into a dialogue. A bit like a book club. We get into a dialogue about it. So that's what Bottom of the Stream is.
There's so much stuff on Netflix.
There's a lot of stuff on Netflix, and there's a lot of...
Just because you might have some famous faces popping up in these things.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're going to sit down.
Netflix release original stuff all the time with really famous people in it, don't advertise it. So they released a film... I don't think it goes on at the bottom of the stream because of who's in it, but they released a film recently called Unicorn Store, which has Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson in it. But there's nothing about it. They're not tweeting about it. They're not telling you about it, but it's out there. Obviously, I don't think, because they're the two of the most famous people in the world at the minute, it doesn't go at the bottom of the stream. But that just tells you that Netflix are releasing stuff all the time, and they're not talking about it. And that's what we want to do. We want to tell you that these films are out there and let you know about them.
Yeah, and it was just really keen to sort of develop no limits in terms of what we want to watch and talk about.
Absolutely.
We've only done 10 episodes, and we've already watched a documentary.
Yeah.
And
a
low teen budget rom-com.
A teen rom-com, a low budget.
Essentially a homemade film in Murder Party.
Yeah.
And all sorts in between.
A comedy starring two really famous comedians, comedy actors. And there's no limits of what we're going to watch on the bottom of the stream, as long as Netflix are not talking about it. If you've heard of any of these films, that can't be helped.
But yeah, like we said, I said right back in the first episode, you're not going to find anything like Bird Box.
No, exactly.
On here.
And The Silence.
Yeah, exactly.
Things like that. And Highwaymen.
Yeah.
There's other podcasts out there that will tell you about those films. We want to be the one that tells you about these little nothing films that nobody's talking about.
Yeah.
That's who we are.
And like we said again right at the start, either polish up a diamond or throw
it back in.
Rock back in the
I don't want to be talking about big budget blockbusters. That's not who I am. I'd go to the cinema a lot, but my passion in film is garbage. I like watching rubbishy films. And so that's what this podcast is. And if we find some, this week's film is that documentary that we watched is fucking brilliant, but nobody's talking about it. So that's who we are. That's what we wanted to say. I hope you got something out of this little bonus episode.
I think just before you sort of close out, I think the only other one of the other questions we had this week on the Reddit was how we select them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just worth confirming that. So we are doing it randomly.
Yeah.
So there's no tricks or anything hidden. We're not planning it out.
We're not promoting anything. Yeah,
we're literally deciding as we finish.
We're not even
recording the last one. We do the random selection.
Yeah.
However, we do manually add things to our list.
Yeah, so we'll go through Netflix individually.
Just as things pop up.
Yeah, and if we've not heard of a film, we'll add it to the list. And
Or it's got an interesting description,
Yeah.
or a trailer pops up.
And we'll add it to the list, and we'll add it to the random app that we've got. We don't watch the films together.
Nope.
And we don't talk to each other about the films until the podcast is running.
Correct.
So I have never any idea what Nick thinks of a film, and he never has any idea what I think of it until we're sitting in front of this microphone.
Yep.
And I think that's the best way we can do it. It's
Yeah,
all
I'd be too worried that I'd if I spoke to you about them beforehand, that I'd blurt a load of stuff out, and then we'd sit down here and I'd have nothing to say.
Yeah, exactly. This is all real. This is us. This is just us two sitting on a couch with a microphone between us, talking rubbish about films. And if that's what you're into, then
It's just a usual conversation. We just happen to stick
we
a
just happen to,
microphone.
there's a big fluffy white microphone in front of it. So yeah, so if that's what you're into, subscribe to the podcast on whichever app you're using. Follow us on all the social medias. So Instagram is at BOTS_podcast, which is the same as Twitter. Facebook.com/bottom of the stream. Email address if you want to email us your opinions is bottomofthestream@gmail.com. And the website where you'll find all the episodes and you'll find the stream table is bottomofthestream.podbean.com. And I think that's everything we've got to say.
Awesome.
Happy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always happy.
I know you are. We'll be back next week to talk about whatever the hell film came out in the last episode.
Bottom of the world.
Bottom of the world. We'll see you then.
Cheers.
Bye.